Hello, I'm Rex Basterfield, and I'd like to welcome you to a video about my Quilcom SIM-CIMBALOM. The music you heard was the theme tune from a 1970s detective series called The Persuaders, which made heavy use of the cymbalom. And the MIDI file had 5 instances of the plug-in sounding with different adjustments to give a range of sounds. If you're not familiar with the cymbalom, it's a little bit like a piano. The strings, groups of strings are laid out horizontally and there are no keys, and the strings are actually struck with very slim curved headed hammers. It's a Hungarian descendant of the ancient hammered dulcimer, and this one it's fully chromatic, and it has dampers whereby you press the pedal and felt strips are introduced to dampen the strings. As you would probably expect, there's a lot more information in the links document in the background info folder, including an excellent YouTube video which introduces you to the instrument in great detail. So now I'll run through the main controls, and it's a fairly simple plugin to operate. The hammer heads can be wood or metal, but very often they have cotton wrapped around them to soften the sound. So here we have a macro that simulates different hardnesses of the head material. We can adjust the response to velocity, going from no velocity influence to quite a wide range of response. The direct knob controls the level of the sound of the hammer hitting the string from the hammer. And it's a good idea to include some of that to improve the sound of the attack. Just for fun, and because it was easy, I added a bowed function, which of course would be impossible on the real instrument. So if I switch to the bowed cymbalom, bow, and now we can set the time of the bowing. The string sound is produced by Carper Strong oscillators, which were heavily adapted and modified by the amazing and remarkable Martin Vickeneck to give much better performance than you would normally get from a basic KS oscillator. First thing to mention is if you click on the tuning fork icon, you can tune the instrument, and then when you click on the strings it goes back to the regular settings. The timbre knob controls the tone of the strings and has a fairly wide range. The sustain knob adjusts the decay time of the string sounds. I've used the term sustain in a musical sense rather than a synthesizer sense. The damper knob controls the amount of time it takes the simulated dampers to deaden the strings. At minimum, there is no damping. maximum, it's pretty much instant, and you can use this along with the sustain pedal. Which works similar to that on a piano. The plugin generates a stereo signal, so here we can set the width, the lower notes on the left and the high notes on the right, panned in a linear fashion between the left and right. So if I turn this up to normal stereo, extra wide, and mono. Okay, so now we'll move on to the tremolo panel, and here tremolo again is used in a musical term rather than the amplitude modulation you might get from a guitar pedal. So here tremolo means rapidly hitting the same note repeatedly. Because the strings are bouncy and the hammers are thin and lightweight, the typical tremolo speed, as I measured from YouTube clips, can be around 15 Hertz remarkably. So we can start the tremolo from either the mod wheel or the on-screen knob, which of course we can automate, and the tremolo cuts in when the mod wheel is pushed about a quarter of the way forward. So that was with swell selected, because when you pass that quarter way mark and push the mod wheel further, or the knob, you get an increase in volume. If you don't want that to happen, just switch it to fixed and the volume won't change with different positions of the mod wheel. The LFO that controls the tremolo speed is polyphonic, and it starts whenever a new note is pressed and is valid for that note. So if we go down to the preset parrot cymbalon, then this drops to 1 Hertz, and when we play staggered notes, as long as we're holding the note down or pressing the sustain pedal, we will get a repetition at that rate. Because of this possibility, I've provided a means of synchronizing the LFO speed to the tempo set on the DAW. The soundboard is a system for simulating resonances of the box underneath the strings, so we can set something which is analogous to the size of the box, the resonance, and the amount of this resonance that we add to the dry sound. Finally, the sympathizer generates sympathetic resonance, so when we hit one note, other notes will sound in sympathy, and this is best heard on the higher strings. We can set the decay. And of course the level. On a real instrument, you'll hear very little sympathetic resonance when the dampers are on. When this is selected to switch to always, we always hear the sound. But if we switch it to pedal, then we only hear it when the pedal is allowing sustain. So that's the Quilcom SIM-CIMBALOM for you, and I hope you enjoy playing around with it, playing it a bit and having a bit of fun with it. So until the next time, bye!